In today's video, we are going to be talking about the Black Ops 7 beta. Now, I know I haven't posted in a while. I'm going to have a separate video about that coming out next week. And I know the last video I spoke about was talking about kind of what I think Black Ops 7 needs to be successful. We're going to touch on a couple of those points, but today I want to talk about the Black Ops 7 beta in its entirety. But as much as this is my video, in the comment section down below, I need you to let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with, what I've missed, or what you want to see added for the full game release. Let's start a conversation. You never know, Call of Duty might see this video. Check the comment section and take in your suggestions. So let's get started. And yes, in the background there will be Black Ops 7 gameplay. So firstly, how does the game feel overall? I saw a clip online and I cannot remember who said it, but I think it summed it up the best. This game feels a lot like Black Ops 6, and obviously they've added in the wall movement kind of layered on top of that. But then you also get a bit of a sprinkle of all the other Black Ops titles. As much as it might not have been a design choice as well, I feel like there's a sprinkle of Infinite Warfare in there. I don't know how to explain it, but I've been having a ton of fun. It feels really good. Unless there's a drastic positive improvement, I'm very much a believer that the movement side of things probably shouldn't change too much year on year, especially if it's within the same engine. Like, you know what you know how the game feels. I get it, there has to be slight movement adjustments every year, and that's fine. Like last year we got Omni movement added, which I personally really like. Obviously tac sprint, no tac sprint, is it going to be included, that kind of thing. Little changes like that need to happen, but I think at the core it shouldn't change too much year on year unless it's a different kind of title or a completely new engine. But overall, really happy with how the game feels, and I'm having a lot of fun. So the next thing that I want to talk about is the maps. Now, this was a big thing that I was worried about this year. I personally thought that Black Ops 6 at its core was a good game. The movement was good, the guns were good, but then I think the cheating and the overall map design for a large majority of the maps wasn't great. But looking at the maps, I was very worried that we were again going to get a really good game but only have kind of 3 or 4 really fun, really playable maps. But that is not the case. Now, I'm recording this when the beta is just being extended, so I haven't played the new map, which I think is called Toshin. I've heard good things, but I haven't played it myself, so I can't comment on that map. But the others that I have played, I am really enjoying. I've said this in multiple streams during the beta that I think that they've implemented the wall jumping very well. And for those maps that are slightly larger, I'm thinking more, I think it's called exposure. For maps like that, it makes the game seem a bit quicker, which depending on the map on Black Ops 7 and the game mode, of course, if it's not like a hard point or a domination where people are going for points, if it's just like a TDM or a kill confirmed, you can run around and not run into enemies, which you should never have in Call of Duty. I haven't felt too much of that during the beta. I think I did the first couple of games of the open mosh pit, but overall the map design is really good. It's a clear 3 lanes, and from what I'm hearing from creators at COD Next as well, they're really happy and hopeful, which is great. Obviously, we know a couple of maps that are already coming out in Express, Raid, and Hijacked, but it does make me hopeful knowing that I've played those 3 in the past, so I know that they're going to be good. I've played 5 or 6 maps on the beta. They're good. Hopefully, these aren't the only good maps. I think that kind of leads us nicely onto talking about game modes. Obviously, you've got the normal ones, TDM, kill confirmed, domination, yada yada yada. I don't really want to talk about them. I think they pace quite well. I want to talk about Overload. Now, Overload's a new mode where essentially you pick up a device. Are we going to call it a device? It is probably a device. Pick up a device, you take it to an enemy point, and you overload it. It's kind of like Capture the Flag, and it's a good team game mode. I have been enjoying it when playing with friends. Gives me the same vibes that Uplink had on Black Ops 3, which that was a goated game mode. I really like Overload. I think it flows quite well. Again, if you're playing with friends, I don't really like it too much if you're not. I think this game mode will get really interesting if it's included in the CDL, because it's very strategy based. You have to work as a team to win, and I just think it's a fun one. Let me know what you think of Overload in the comment section down below. While we're on the topic of game modes, I want to talk about the Open Mosh Pit playlist. For those of you that don't know what this is, Call of Duty about 2 days into the beta released a lower SBMM game mode for you to play. Now, I want to be very specific here. It was a lower SBMM game mode, not a no SBMM game mode, a lower SBMM game mode. And I also want to be clear, there does need to be SBMM in the game to an extent. I've said this in all of my videos before, but I feel like the Open Mosh Pit is a great display of what Call of Duty could be to a casual player. I said this in a tweet, but because of the ranging SBMM scale, you do still get sweats. You do still get people that are maybe learning the game a little bit more, but there's a good mix in there. It's not constant sweats, it's not constant eyes against the monitor to kind of play the game, and it allows you to enjoy the game a bit more, streak a bit more. Maybe some games you don't, but I feel like there's definitely a better mix in there. I personally think that on the release we'll probably get a game mode or an SBMM type that's between kind of the normal game mode and this Open Mosh Pit. The reason I say that is because I feel like the Open Mosh Pit at points could be a bit slow. Obviously, where it prioritizes connection rather than SBMM, if you get into a mode where everyone's got really good connection, but maybe they're not as experienced at the game, they don't kind of run around the map as too much, which is completely fine. Everyone's kind of learning the game, but sometimes it did feel a little bit slower, and that tends to be in the game modes that aren't kind of point specific. So I found Hardpoint and Dom tend to be fine, but if you're playing like a TDM or a Kill Confirmed, it tends to be a little bit slower. And I think that's purely because if there's a hardpoint, people are running towards it when they spawn. Like, obviously some people will flank, but I think lower skilled players probably just go for time. Overall, really enjoyed the game mode. It's all I've queued for the last couple of days. Hopefully Call of Duty continue to make these improvements when the game goes live and we see something that everybody enjoys on release. So while we're talking about different players, I think it's worth talking about cheaters and hackers. Supposedly there's a new anti-cheat coming when Black Ops 7 drops. Obviously for the beta and the full game, they've implemented the new TPM 2.0 activation. That is a bit of a mouthful. And I have seen clips on X of hackers in the game on day one and throughout the week, but supposedly Ricochet are banning people, which is great. Now from my personal experience, I haven't seen too many hackers in the game. I say that I haven't seen any 100% blatant hackers. There's been some questionable plays and I've called it out on stream, but when I've gone back and watched the clips, either I'm just being dunked on or it's a 50-50 and they get a lucky decision. But because I got dunked on, I'm gonna say that they're hacking. Probably the shortest section in the video, but yeah, hackers, it's been fine from me. Let's see what it's like on release. I put a point here about weapons. Now I don't really know how much I want to talk about them, purely because it's gonna be the same as it is every year. There's gonna be some good ones, there's gonna be some bad ones. I will say with the open mosh pit game mode, it allows you to use a bigger range of weapons, which is why I think if we can get to a healthy medium with the open mosh pit, that would be great on release, especially for camo grinders like myself. Yeah, I lied. Weapons is probably the shortest. I think it's pretty balanced. There's quite a few guns that you can use. Obviously, you've got guns that are slightly better than others, but overall, I was quite impressed. Final thing that I want to touch on is the zombies mode. Now, me and the boys jumped in. We did get to round 51 to unlock the Dark Ops challenge. Just to be clear, you have to get to 50, not 51, but we X-filled on 51. I like zombies. Not too much has changed since last year. Obviously, we only got a small map to trial in the beta, which I thought was a really good addition, by the way, and not all of the features are there, but I'm very excited to play zombies on full release. Apparently the new big map is the biggest one they've ever seen in zombies survival, and I was a huge lover of Black Ops 2 zombies, so it could be good. Apparently they've got a lot of inspiration from Transit. Also the Pack-a-Punch camos are great, really enjoying those. The Ray Gun and Ray Gun Mark II are cool. I had a ton of fun. I think zombies is a nice casual game mode that you can just jump in with the boys, level up some guns, do some objectives, and I had a ton of fun playing it. I will of course be going for the zombies mastery camo when the game drops, and this kind of sneak peek in the beta has made me even more excited for that. But that about wraps up the Yap session, boys. Overall, really happy with the Black Ops 7 beta. Obviously, you can't judge a game based on the beta, although I really want to. Full releases on November 14th. We are going to be streaming and creating content throughout the weekend. Make sure you let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts on the Black Ops 7 beta. If you did enjoy this video in any way, shape or form, please drop a like. If you're new around here, please subscribe to the channel. But all that's left for me to say is, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching today's video. I do hope you enjoyed. Take care, stay safe. I'll catch you in the next one.